This was really freaking funny. This article came out from PC Gamer about Steam and how Steam has been accused of, quote, normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community, according to a new ADL report. Now, the ADL, once again, is the Anti-Defamation League. And we'll get to the response to this first and foremost in just a second. But I think it's important for us to actually look at the report itself. Have you actually looked at the report here, Vera?
I have, yes.
Oh, good. Well, you can see here, Steam-powered hate, top gaming site rife with extremism and anti-Semitism. So they open up with this story about how an 18-year-old kid hurt a bunch of people, went into a mosque, stabbed people, and he played video games. God damn it, he played video games. And here are the key findings in their data. Extremist and hateful content, in particular white supremacist and anti-Semitic content, is widespread on Steam community pages. They found 1.83 million unique pieces of extremist or hateful content. And this includes things like the swastika and the frog. 1.5 Pepe the Frog, 1.5 million unique users, and 73,824 groups with at least one potentially extremist or hateful symbol, with one potential copy pasta or keyword on the platform. And once again, copy pastas are popular methods of sharing. By the way, this is news. Popular method for sharing extremist or hateful content on Steam. So there's that. 184,622 instances of extremist or hateful keywords on Steam. So it's just rife with unbelievably hateful content. Vera, before we got started, you said something about this. This is a regular occurrence for the ADL.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the ADL goes after the industry once a year minimum. This year, it seems that they just kind of decided to target Steam because I think that they realize when they have one specific target, it might be taken a little bit more seriously than an entire industry filled with, billions and billions of gamers who look at news every single day.
Well, Asmongold chimed in on this and ratioed this post from PC Gamer to Holy Hell, simply with the message, "What a bunch of retarded bullshit."
Yeah.
Endymion, eat my ass. Gundam came in. I guess negative reviews for shitty progressive games is hate crime now. Nailed it right there. And of course, Master of the TDS came in with his copy pasta. And Neon is correct. We can't control gamers. Call them Nazis. That's where we're at here with society.
Yeah.
So
To me, it's really sad to see this happen, and it's ridiculous because not every single gamer is a terrible person. It's just that they want to be able to label us any sort of Easterphobe, whatever day of the week they want to. The ADL is always looking for a boogeyman. Yes, sure, there are accounts on the platform that are hateful and posting disgusting things, and then there's probably trolls you can't differentiate from. But if you look for something, you're going to find it. If you look for a racist message, you're going to find it. If you look for a sexist message, you're going to find it, and that's all they're doing. This is the cost of freedom of speech, and you can't control people's speech, and you're not going to be able to get rid of these people by making, articles and posts like this, unless, of course, you get rid of the reviews and you get rid of forums and you basically get rid of every way of communication on Steam. So instead of highlighting these people and giving them a platform, you should just ignore them and then they'll go away. And even though the majority of us sitting here disagree with the viewpoints of some of these people and these posts that they're claimed are being made, if we keep letting large companies like this shut down anyone they don't like, then they can ban anyone for anything and call it something else. Oh, you put this image on our platform, we're going to ban you for being a Nazi. Well, I'm not actually a Nazi. I just simply posted something you took in that way, or you just came up with that label for me in order to get me off of your platform because you just don't like what I'm saying, which of course is absolutely ridiculous. And yes, anti-Semitism certainly exists, but because the ADL is getting money, they need to look like they're always doing something. And a lot of the times, that something is just too much. They need to keep convincing us why they're relevant and why they deserve money. And not to get, too deep into politics, but one of the things they mention in this is all the anti-Israel rhetoric on the platform. But a large portion of the funding comes from people on the left who are not pro-Israel. So the more moderation you have, the more ripe for abuse these tools actually become. And by not increasing moderation doesn't mean we're not recognizing there aren't, say, anti-Semitic people, or real racists out there, but that's why platforms should put the choice in players' hands to give them tools like blocking and ignoring. The best thing platforms can do is provide more tools to control what people see on an individual basis.
I think one of the best things to do when it comes to this is really look at it from a data standpoint. And that's the way I like to look at these things. So I did a little data this morning, and I said, this report is straight up anti-gamer propaganda.
Yeah, of course.
The report claims there are 1.83 million unique pieces of extreme or hateful content. Once again, that could be a single post. That could be an avatar. It could be whatever they deem extremist or hateful content. It could be misgendering somebody. It could be literally whatever they want. But to put that in perspective, says there's 132 million monthly active users on Steam. That's not total users. That's just people who use it on a month-to-month basis.
Right.
And I said, congrats. You found out that 1.38% of people are assholes, which I would argue is lower than the rest percentage of the world. So I would actually say Steam is a very welcoming place compared to most of the world along the way.
Yeah, but they just want to attack gamers and the industry. It's exactly what PETA does as well. PETA constantly attacks games, like at the beginning of the year, Pal World, for example. They attack games and, like shows and movies based off of games like The Witcher because they happen to use horses. There's constantly an organization that's going to attack the gaming industry, and that's why it's so important for people to defend the industry, because again, they're bringing up potential symbols of hatred and potential symbols of abuse. But if they're sitting there every day in an office for 8 hours or 10 hours looking for anti-Semitism or sexism or racism, they're going to find it, and then they're just going to complain about it. If you look for something, you're going to find it. And then of course they publish stupid reports like this.
This whole report that's been put out there, they've talked about the various figures that are being used as extremist symbols. And many of them include Pepe the Frog. They say almost 55% of the extremist symbols were detected were Pepe the Frog.
Wow, a frog. So
Pepe
offensive.
You would think the French would be more pissed off.
Pepe. I don't know enough about this to talk about this. So I asked Blabs to do a little research on this before we got started. So Blabs, please fill us in on Pepe the Frog and the hateful nature of why he is seen as a extremist thing.
Well, ironically, Pepe was debuted in 2005, but it only started happening in 2016, where they deemed him as problematic. So the actual ADL website, which we don't really have to look at a whole lot, but just to show it in visual, has actually stated saying It wasn't originally racist or anti-Semitic. It was the memers and the people on 4chan and 8chan and Reddit that made it so. So they're literally saying, "Oh, he wasn't actually originating as anti-Semitic and racist."
And to add to that, do you see what year they're saying it became prevalent?
Yes, there's lots of context here with that. So
Yeah.
this was added to the ADL database in 2016. And I'm going to take a quote from them. It says, "The mere fact of posting a Pepe meme does not mean that someone is racist or a white supremacist."
Wait.
However-
So they're saying just by posting it, that doesn't mean that you are, but yet they throw this in there saying that if you post it, it's an extremist symbol.
Yep.
So their 2016 to 2024 is contradicting. But this is a direct quote from the ADL resource. And it says, "However, if the meme itself is racist or anti-Semitic in nature, or if it appears in a context containing bigoted or defensive language or symbols, then it may have been used for hateful purposes." And if I scroll down, which I don't think I should, there's a lot of examples of bad Pepe, and we'll leave it at that. But there's more to this. The BBC, or the big black beep, in 2016, mind you, Pepe the Frog meme branded a hate symbol. So you guys can just stare at his face while I read to you. So this was actually labeled, well, first of all, in this article, they labeled Trump as alt-right back in 2016 already. In this article, it shows that in 2015, Trump actually retweeted a Pepe meme and says, "You can't stump the Trump." And so they are already aligning Pepe the Frog to Trump. Alt-right. You get where I'm going with this. And then, which this no longer exists, I've even found the link for it, does not exist. Hillary Clinton released a post titled "Donald Trump, Pepe the Frog, and White Supremacist," an explainer. And they claimed that the cartoon frog is more sinister than you might realize. And by they, I mean Hillary Clinton and her entire campaign team. Now, the post itself is completely nuked since 2016, so we're unable to actually see the official one. And so there it is. Pepe the Frog was deemed anti-Semitic in 2016, the same time as Trump. So this is just one whole political spear, and they seem to notice that people who use memes are right-wing.
Yep, it's the classic move, the Alyssa move. "Oh my God, gamers are the ones who got Trump elected."
Yes. Yeah, so my thoughts is that it's the media that labeled this as racist,
Oh,
because
100%.
it's not. And a lot of the memes are just dark humor. Like, there are some racist pieces of shit out there, 100%, but I think they're an extreme minority. And I think a lot of them are just like dark humor jokes that people take too seriously.
Well,
So there you go.
Looking through these extremist symbols a little bit more on Steam, which are very problematic. Look, some of these that you look at and you're like, okay, I get it. But are we still saying the Confederate flag is an extremist symbol of hate? Like, are we really doing that?
Apparently.
Right? Like some guy in look, I've known people literally I live in Texas, right? I've known people my entire life and that have had a Confederate flag somewhere. They are not racist at all. It's about the South, just in general. It's about having pride in being a part of the Southern United States. A little bit of sweet tea, all that stuff. All the memes that go along and all the stereotypes that go along with being of the South. It's so ridiculous that got co-opted into a hate symbol, and the fact that it's even included in this, it's silly.
Yeah,
Silly.
and it's like we just saw it happen. I think it was like 2 years ago. Phil Cassidy in the GTA trilogy, he had a Confederate flag, and then Rockstar, when they released the remastered trilogy, they removed it from the game because they said it was a hateful symbol.
Oh, okay. Well, it was one day, then all of a sudden it's not.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it is. And then all of a sudden it's not. Well, this is a silly argument. I'm sure we're going to talk about this, as Vera said, probably in a year from now again. We'll get around. We'll be like, remember last year when Steam was accused of normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community?